Imagine if aliens came to Earth to observe human behavior. This is what they might report back. Elevators must be unreliable, even dangerous forms of transportation because humans never take their eyes off the floor indicator and nobody ever speaks in an elevator. Now that's accurate, isn't it? And why is that so? It's because we've all grown comfortable not talking to strangers. Of course, that's one of the first things we learn as kids. And yes, kids should not speak to strangers. But why shouldn't adults? I'll give you 2 reasons we don't. Fear and habit, bad habit. We fear rejection, but it's also just a habit. We've grown comfortable not speaking to strangers. In public, we walk around in this protective bubble. With friends and family, we may be sincere and engaging and funny. But in public, we suddenly undergo this personality lobotomy. And that's unfortunate because it comes at great cost. We miss out on incredible experiences. So here's the great news. Breaking this bad habit is very easy, and the benefits of doing so are tremendous. Positive interactions with strangers are the simplest, most effective way to change our mindset and boost self-confidence. And mindset and confidence unlock happiness and success. Even better, these opportunities present themselves to us throughout the day in these ideal 20-second opportunities. We don't have to take a class or read a book. All we need to do is speak to a stranger. I was in the grocery store and it was almost New Year's, so they had this big display of champagne, huge circle of champagne bottles. And for some reason, they had a teddy bear in the middle, giant teddy bear surrounded with champagne bottles. But the teddy bear had slumped forward like this. So I said to a woman nearby, looks like someone had too much to drink last night. And she laughed. That's it, just like that, she laughed. There was no awkward silence, there was no confusion. She didn't look at me and say, "Do I know you?" She just laughed and walked on. And I felt great. I made a stranger laugh. So if it's that easy, why don't we do it? Again, fear and habit. We fear the stranger will think we're strange. And we've always done it this way. So I want to be clear, this isn't about converting introverts into extroverts or overcoming shyness. This is about confidence, being more comfortable more often to accomplish more of what we want to do. And that's easy to do. We just need to engage with a stranger because the universe will reward our engagement. I was at a hotel that has a free breakfast, so I was down there with all the other travelers assembling my breakfast, and I put some bread into the toaster, and then I moved to the other side, and I got my coffee and a plate and some utensils. And when I came back, there was a guy standing there waiting. But there's nothing to be waiting for other than my toast. So we have a problem. We have a toast standoff. It's not going to end well. Sure enough, the toaster pops. This guy reaches over, takes my toast, and starts to walk away. He's stealing my toast. Am I just going to stand here and let that happen? I need to, there's another toaster about 10 feet to the right. And there's my toast just waiting for me. I almost accused an innocent man of stealing toast. So I finish my breakfast, and I'm going to head back to the room. So I go to the lobby. I'm waiting for the elevator. Who should walk up but Mr. Toast? He doesn't know he's Mr. Toast, but he is Mr. Toast. So I have a dilemma. Should I tell him this story and risk him thinking I'm a nut? Well, of course, I dive right in. I tell him the story. And you know what he said? "No way! Who steals another man's toast? That's hilarious." And it was hilarious. And we yucked it up all the way up in the elevator. So he gets off on his floor, and I continue on to mine. And the story doesn't end there. I collect my things. I'm ready to check out. So I'm back in the elevator, headed to the lobby. As the elevator descends, it stops. The doors open. Who is standing there waiting to get on? Mr. Toast. But now he has a friend with him. As soon as I see him, I say, "Watch out, it's a toast thief." And you know what his friend does? no way, is this the guy? So what happened? In that short period of time, my new good friend, Mr. Toast, went back to his room and told his friend, dude, you're not gonna believe this. Some guy thought I stole his toast, and then he told me the whole story. It was hilarious. Simple, innocuous interactions with strangers can have enormously positive effects. I was on the last day of a business trip without friends, without colleagues, without family. I was exhausted. I was retreating inside myself, which may be natural, but it's not helpful. That interaction with those guys lifted my soul. It was hilarious. It was tremendous. I re-engaged with the world. These interactions with strangers change our mindset. We're all confident in our comfort zone. So imagine if we could expand our comfort zones. In public, with strangers, rather than shutting down and tuning out, let's engage, because it gives us power. It gives us confidence. And when our confidence is high and we're willing to engage the world, that's when great things happen. We join that group. We share with our boss that idea we've been toying with. We launch that business. Our focus shifts from the possibility of failure to the possibility of success. And all of that can stem from a simple seed, speaking to strangers. I was at the gym, and it was busy as usual, so I'm doing my workout, and in front of me, and a little to the side, two young women are doing kettlebell squats. Kettlebell is that bulbous weight with a handle. You hold it with two hands. You can do a kettlebell squat. Everybody with me? So, unfortunately, it becomes obvious pretty quickly that one of these women had split her pants right down the middle. So, another dilemma. Do I tell her? Would it be too embarrassing for her? Would it be too embarrassing for me? As my wife would later ask me, how did I even notice? Well, I'm happy to say I made a quick decision. And I walked up to these young women and I said, I would want you to tell me, so I'm gonna tell you, your pants are split. And then I split. I didn't linger because there was nothing more for me to do. My job was done. So I go back to my spot, I resume my workout, and what do? Well, of course, they put their kettlebells away, and then they're gonna beat it. They need to address this wardrobe malfunction. But the woman, as she's leaving, she turns to me, she laughs, and she says, thank you. Our relationship is on a whole new level now. That's pretty cool. She didn't slink away. She wasn't mortified. Or if she was, she got over it. Not only did she thank me, she had the presence of mind to be funny. That's cool. The universe rewarded my engagement. Now, I've said before, this isn't about changing who we are in order to speak to strangers. It's about a simple act, engaging with a stranger for 20 seconds and letting that interaction work its magic. Because we don't need to change who we are. The interactions change us. That's why I say this is an incredible untapped source of confidence. About 10 years ago, I was checking into a hotel in Florida, and the employee at the front desk, middle-aged woman, she had a fan on the counter right in front of her, aimed directly at her. So at some point during the check-in process, being as I am, I motioned to the fan. I say, you like to keep it cool, do you? She said, Mr. Dwyer, I'm a woman of a certain age. So yeah, sometimes I need to cool things down. Oh, this woman just shared with me, total stranger, that she's menopausal. And neither one of us was uncomfortable with that. Cool. I appreciated her sharing that with me, because I'll admit that was not a possibility I was thinking of at the time. And she wasn't offended because I wasn't teasing. I was just being chatty. So I didn't walk away from that interaction thinking, boy, I need to keep my mouth shut. No, I thought, wow, a lot of cool people on this planet. The universe rewarded my engagement. Now, I can also testify about being on the receiving end of stranger engagement. My family and I were in this bakery, and the cashier was a young 20-something woman, and she said to my teenage daughter, "Excuse me, miss, I like your shorts. Where did you get those?" Well, you can imagine, that made my daughter's day. What a compliment. But the young woman wasn't trying to be nice. She was thinking, I like those shorts. Wonder where she got those shorts. And for most of us, it would end right there. We wouldn't engage a stranger. But this young woman didn't stay stuck in neutral. She engaged. She shifted into positive. She asked the question, and she got the information she wanted. And in so doing, she made a huge impact on a stranger, my daughter. Another example, I was on a bike ride very recently, and I'm biking uphill. And on the other side of the street, there's a man and a woman out for a walk. So they're walking downhill, and I'm biking uphill. Steep hill, I'm in the lowest gear, my head's down, my legs are churning. This is a tough go. And I hear from the guy across the street, he calls out to me and he says, "Dude, you're a rock star." Rock star. Yeah. I added that second part. How cool is that? He saw how hard I was working and he gave me a shout out. Who needs 20 seconds? That was 2 seconds. And it worked. I felt good. I appreciated the compliment. But also, I didn't overthink this. When he said that, my reaction wasn't, "Oh, geez, that's got to be pity. I probably look ridiculous." He's thinking, "I better say something. This guy's about to fall off his bike." No, that's our fear of stranger engagement talking. That's what we need to change. We need to engage sincerely, and we need to receive engagement sincerely. I've said this is a wonderful, untapped resource. If we could all acknowledge this peculiar habit, silence among strangers, and replace it with confidence-building, world-validating experiences, imagine the possibilities. Rather than walking around largely disengaged with the world, we could draw confidence from people we don't even know. A chuckle with a stranger in the checkout line changes us. And that's not some new age theory. The positive interaction stimulates the release of dopamine in our brains. It just feels good. The brain and the universe reward our engagement. Now, there are limits, of course. The point is not to spew a stream of consciousness to everyone you see. You don't walk up to someone in the parking lot and say, "Hey, I noticed you parked your car really poorly. You're a bad parker." It doesn't matter how much you smile. The stranger will not appreciate the negativity. The universe will not reward the negativity. Or maybe you're shy and you're worried that you'll embarrass yourself. Here's the great news. The failures don't matter. This is a low-risk, high-reward proposition. And I'll give you an example. I was at the grocery store. By the way, yes, this is my second grocery story, and I also had 2 elevator stories. So there's your hint. Try this in grocery stores and elevators. So I'm in the grocery store, and I see a guy whose cart is jammed with nothing but soda, steaks, and chips. So I said, "There's a party ready to start." No, he wasn't interested. He was not amused. But he wasn't angry. He wasn't offended, because we're not comedians. We're not expected to entertain people. So what does failure look like? Failure looks like a blank stare, and that's it. We can handle a blank stare. Because what does success look like? It looks like a big grin, a whole bunch of dopamine, and a ton of confidence. These interactions remind us of our great value, and they remind us that the world enjoys our value. All of that in 20 seconds. It's not us against the world. It's us and the world. So it doesn't matter if you split your pants, you steal my toast, or you like my shorts. We can all grow and benefit from each other. All we need to do is speak up. And that's why I look forward to seeing all of you in the grocery store. Thank you.